suddenly one of the skateboards standing.
I was watching the live time reading from them. Oh god, you guys are hitting the walls a lot.
Even on the up lap.
Well, I mean, it's the
On the
fastest
wall
way.
everywhere.
I haven't hit the wall yet.
Yet.
Exactly.
Some of you are colliding with each other.
Uh-oh.
Guys, please.
Leave gaps. It's not that hard.
I'm falling nearly
Go
with
up.
the wall.
No, no. Didn't you say you nearly hit the wall, but I literally grazed the wall on my way. Like, if you want to get all that lap time, you won't need to be centimeters away.
No, if you want to get lap time, you need to be in the wall, like right now.
No, that just loses you time.
Here they got the fastest lap.
There's two things. One, this is a different version. Two, these aren't bumpy.
Good evening, everybody out there on Twitch. We are back for AFX Round 4 in Macau, the Chinese Special Administrative Region, directly across the Pearl River from Hong Kong. This is the, I believe, third time that Assetto Friends has raced at this track. It's a great street circuit, a lot of fun. There is a permanent yellow flag, no overtaking zone at the tight hairpin where you would surely cause an accident if you attempted to overtake. But the no overtaking on lap 1 turn 2 has been removed from our previous races. We are racing from the green flag. There's full overtaking at that point, with the exception of in the hairpin. On board here with Polybius as he's doing the first flying lap of quali. He was the fastest in the practice session. Had a nice lap time. Nice lap time in the practice section. I believe about a 2:36, I think, was his lap time. Could be mistaken on that, but we will surely be seeing a quick lap out of him as he looks to pursue a championship title in AFX. Polybius is currently the championship leader with 64 points. And his team is currently leading the team's championship by 33 points with 93 points to the lead. Macau Wolf Racing is in second, and Fantastic Racing is currently in third in that. The drivers' standings are Polybius, Daniel Wolf, and Lil Miata for the top 3. And see how it results after this. And this right here is the no overtake hairpin. You have to pretty much use the entire track, going from almost from the left wall to the right wall on the exit of the hairpin, and from there you're on 3 extremely long straightaways where this little Miata will be the little engine that could for almost a minute. So far on this lap, Polybius is the fastest in the first 2 sectors, over a second clear of the next fastest car in sector 2. So he's surely going to be happy with this lap time. And a 2:41.4 puts him on the provisional pole, 3 seconds clear of Base O Freak. And Zhao crosses the line with 2:44, putting him on the front row. Daniel Wolf coming across the line fast enough to be P4. We see Shiny Waffles come out of the last corner now. Where will he end up? Just fast enough for 6, but he's surely going to have to improve on that time if he does not want to start at the back. V-Bull slots in at P8. Jats at P7. And Shiny Waffles is just watching his time slowly dwindle down the timing tower. go on board with our provisional pole sitter. He is quicker through the first sector than his previous flying lap, about 1/100th quicker. See if he can improve more on his sector 2 as he comes down, making the last couple turns there before the run down to the hairpin. Live timings showing lots of crashes going on around the track. I'm going to share that link here with you guys in Twitch chat. I'll give you the live timing access for this race. You can keep track of where your drivers are on track easier with that. Looks like Jens has loaded himself into the server. And Polybius does not improve on his sector 2 time, and he's not going to improve on his lap time, being almost 3 seconds off of that. Yeah, 2:47, not good for him. Pingu Quinn, Polybius' teammate, has slotted into P2 with a time of 2:42.3. That's almost a whole second off of his teammate, though, who is on pole, which will give Polaris Motorsport their second front row lockout in as many days. They locked out the front row last night in AF3 at Phillip Island in the Porsche GT4 Club Sport cars. So it's shaping out to be a really good weekend for Polaris Motorsports. So far, front row lockouts in AF3, AFX, and I'm sure they will be looking for a front row lockout in the highly competitive AF1 tomorrow, racing at, let's see where they're racing. They are racing at Buenos Aires tomorrow night, so be sure to tune in and check that out. That series is highly competitive. We'll start at 1700 UTC, 5 p.m. UTC. And yeah, those, like I said, highly competitive league. AF1 is, and certainly be a lot of fun to watch tomorrow night as Polaris Motorsports goes for their third front row lockout of the weekend, if things stay the way they are right now, which it's looking good to do that. Currently we have Polybius on provisional pole with a 2:41, Pingu Quinn with a 2:42.3, and Zhao is rounding out the top 3 there with a 2:43.3, a full second behind Pingu Quinn. So there are 2 seconds between first and third right now. And over the entire field, we're looking at semi-representative lap times, gaps as big as 5 seconds. It's crazy how far back some of these people's lap are, but hopefully they'll be able to get some good laps in there. They could have had some collisions on the back half of this track, and I'm sure they will get their race in order. Go on board with Mixtrol as he's running his lap. Alright, let's see. I'll check in on Mixtrol here, see how he's doing in comparison to his other times. While I stepped away there, Polybius did set a new fastest lap. Provisional pole time is now 2 minutes 40 seconds, 0.9. He is over a second clear of his teammate now. 2 seconds clear of Zhao still. Crazy how much quicker he is. Mixtrol did improve on his Sector 2 time, putting in the personal best in Sector 2. On pace for Sector 1, see if he can improve his lap time. His best lap so far, 2:46. You know he's looking to be up there in the top 5. So he makes the run down to the line, and he moves up to P6. He will, with a time of 2:45.7. It's a good improvement for him, up from P8. Check in with Tagua Patobo, who just put in a personal best sector, 55.7 in Sector 1. That's 4/10 quicker than his previous personal best. So let's see if he can keep this up for the rest of the lap. And yeah, finish this lap up and move up from P7, where he's currently sitting. Though he would love to get back up to the position he just lost to Mick Stroll, and would definitely love to be inside the top 5. Getting a little sideways there, a little bit of oversteer coming out of that corner. As we make the run down. Nope, I am mistaken. We're not quite at the hairpin yet, but we will be very shortly. Oh, and he puts it into the wall. That is not going to help him at all, improving his lap time. How much time did it cost him, though? He had about 5/10 up in Sector 1. A little bit of oversteer through Sector 2. A little bit of understeer put him into the wall. So he makes it clean through the hairpin. A nice line through the hairpin. And he still improves on his Sector 2 time. Even after putting it in the wall, gets a green sector in Sector 2. We're making these runs down the straight. He's looking for that slipstream off the Polaris Motorsport car in front of him. Looks like Zhao just set a new personal best. Oh no! He loses it coming out of the last corner. He was surely going to improve on his lap to get up a higher qualifying position, and that will cost him. He will start this race no higher than P7, as there is not enough time for him to complete an outlap. Check in with Zhao, see where he is at. Zhao is at making the run down to turn 3. See if he can improve more on his lap time. He's 6/10 behind Pinguin to prevent the Polaris Motorsport front row lockout. This will be his last attempt at a flying lap. In fact, I think everybody after Vivels, this will be their final lap. Vivels might not even make it, as the checkered flag is going to wave now. And it looks like Vivels did make it across the line to start his flying lap. Good for him. See if he can improve from the position he's currently P8. You know, he would love to move up. Zhao goes personal best through Sector 1. As he makes a move around Jens Beetsma. Tell you what, Jens is sitting P11 right now in qualifying. That's not a place you normally see Jens. As Zhao taps the wall a little bit on the corner exit there. Probably cost him a little bit, hopefully not too much. Jens is also green through Sector 1, but a whole second slower than Zhao through that first sector, as Zhao gets really close to that Armco barrier on the exit of that turn. Doesn't look like it affected him at all, as he's going super inside on this hairpin turn. Might have lost a little bit of time there. Looked like it unsettled the car there where that turn dips down rapidly. Now it's just all straight here, couple turns, long straights. See if he can move up. As it stands right now, Polaris Motorsports has a front row lockout. Zhao is looking to change that. He is green through sectors 1 and 2. Needs to find 6/10 over his entire lap to take that Polaris Motorsport front row lockout and throw it in the bin. And he's running down to the line. And he does not prevent the front row lockout. 1/10 of a second difference to prevent the front row lockout does not happen. Zhao will be starting P3. Base O Freak crossing the line now. Base O Freak will start P4. Miguel Costa is the only driver remaining on a flying lap as he makes the run to the line and will start P11. That will complete qualifying. Polaris Motorsports have got their second front row lockout of the weekend, this time with Polybius and Pinguquin. Last night it was Polybius and Diego getting the front row lockout, and I'm sure they will be looking for their third front row lockout of the weekend tomorrow night. See if we'll see similarities between last night's race and tonight's race. Last night, the P2 Polaris car went deep into turn 1, made it work, ended up overtaking in turn 1 and led for a few laps. See how this goes for Pinguquin tonight. Sure, he would love to lead this race. Riley, the skins are... I was not expecting to stream tonight, and I didn't know there was a skin update pack. I literally downloaded the track 10 minutes before the stream started, so I didn't download the update to the skins. But we will have these skins updated before the next race. Speaking of the next race, where is AFX next? I know we're off next week. There will not be an AFX race because AFX only races on weekends with AF4. On our off weeks, AF2 will be next week, and AF2 is racing at Sepang. That'll be fun, said no GT driver ever. But we're racing at Sepang. Should be a lot of fun for the LMP drivers since, you know, they got downforce on their cars, but the GT drivers are going to be hurting a bit there. The next race for AFX is the driver's vote race. It is on the 31st of July. And I honestly don't know what track won the driver's vote. You would think I'd probably know that, but I don't.
Plenty of time
Hopefully.
to remember.
Hopefully.
Pingu,
Can somebody
don't,
write to don't cut?
Pingu, don't
No?
forget your don't
What?
forget your fuel.
Yep.
Do you want the co-driver, James?
Do you tire change or not?
If
don't
you
need
want to.
Alright.
All the way through, stay left 5, right 8,
One. Shut
right,
up, Denny. Shut up,
right.
Denny. Yes, redacted talk. Second. Oh yeah, AF3. We did 1-2 there.
Yeah, it is your second front row lockout of the weekend. Are you going to go for the trifecta tomorrow night in AF1 at Buenos Aires?
Oh hell no. Hell no.
Front row lockout for Polaris Motorsports 3 days in a row?
No, I don't think so.
Diego,
I'm
leave
not-
the cold ones.
I'm not good enough for yeah, but I'm bad in quali. I've never been good in quali. This is actually my first pole position because the only other time I had pole position was the red flagged and stopped Daytona pole race, you know? I've always just been like P2 or P3 in quali. And then if I get a, you know, if I get him in the race, I get him. That's it. So this is actually my first pole. Which I must say I'm not as excited about as I should be. Why? No, because I just noticed that, you know, pole doesn't matter. As long as you're in the top 3, you're fine.
I actually didn't know a corner, and I just didn't brake for it, and I got like 3 purple sectors and no exit speed wasted. So
Great.
Because wall ride is the quickest.
yes,
I mean, if someone reports it, you're gonna get a penalty, but sure.
Why? I
I'm
don't do
not
it
gonna be
intentionally.
So, starting like I said previously, on the front row is a Polaris Motorsports front row lockout with Polybius and Pinguquin. Second row will be Zhao and Beso Freak. Daniel Wolf and Denny K on the third row. Mixtrol and Tobo. Vivals, followed by Mario Fonseca, rounds out the top 10. Miguel Costa and Jake follow them. Jats and Jens. Nasty Bruises and Andacho. And Shiny Waffles and Mosquito. Oh, bring up the back of the field. Miguel Soto in that Wolf Team racing car is in fact not racing. So we are underway. And Polybius gets a clean start. He will lead the field into turn 1 as they are making the run down to turn 2. Oh, and there's a crash at turn 2. Several cars are off here at turn 2. That will bring out the safety car for sure. Who could have seen this coming? Yes, yes, yes. The skins are gone because I wasn't planning on streaming. I get it, guys. All the Miatas are red. A crash at Macau? No. What do you guys think? More or less than 3 safety cars in this race? This is a 30-minute race with a mandatory pit stop. You think it'll be more? How many safety cars do you think we're gonna see during this race? The safety car sure did shake up the field. Jens Beatsmo looks like he's made away fairly good after that safety car, or rather, crash that brought out the safety car. Polaris Motorsport, lucky they're at the front. They get clean. Just a little bit of damage there on the front of Jake's car, a little bit of damage there on the front of Togo Potobo's car as we come through the hairpin with nasty bruises. Yeah. And looks like we should be getting ready to go green flag racing here. No, maybe not. And we're gonna do a whole nother lap under safety car. jump back to him just as he hits the wall. Sure, he'll love to know that that was on stream. Hopefully this will be the last time through this hairpin under safety car, at least this safety car. And one more turn until the start-finish straight. We should be going back to green flag racing. I hope. As we are almost 10 minutes into this race and have not completed a full lap of green flag racing yet. And we are back to green. We are racing at Macau. Shiny Waffles losing out on a couple places at the restart. We've got drivers trying to go 2 and 3 wide into turn 2. Jats is on the wall on the left. That's not going to help him out at all. We are going 2 by 2 into turn 2. And the front makes it through cleanly. We will only see about the drivers at the back. And there's like 4 cars off. Surely see if we go back to safety car racing here. Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're going to stay green flag racing. We'll go on board here with our leader. Follow him around this track. He's clearing off the front. He's put a 1.7 second gap on his teammate so far in this lap. Go find Jake, maybe. There's Jake. See how he's doing. Not so well. Looks like he's about to get passed by Miguel Costa on the inside. They're going side by side, which is pretty dangerous on this track. Miguel Costa does complete that overtake, and Jake falls to P9 and has Beso Freak all over him. As he's trying to make up positions he lost in the start of this race. I do not know if Tagua pit. Let's check that. We can check that. Yes, Tagua Patobo has pit twice in this race. He has been through the pit lane twice. That probably explains why he is so far back. And we have completed a full lap of racing. Only took us 10 minutes to do it, but we've done it. As Polybius is clearing off the front in a rapid pace. 3-second gap to his own teammate now. And he will surely have the fastest lap in this race. He does. The fastest lap in this race so far, 2 minutes, 45 seconds, belongs to Polybius. He is 3 seconds clear of everybody else in that front. So hopefully he will maintain that. We go on with Denny K, less than a half a second or so behind. Zhao for P3 for that final podium position. This looks like one of the closest battles on track right now. Getting real close to that wall. Might have even touched it a little bit there on the exit of that turn. There was a move there by Daniel Wolf to overtake Jake again. Jake falling to P11 now. P11, surely he's not going to like that. Oh no, Penguin is around. Oh, and he takes out Jens Beetsma in the process of the recovery. Currently sitting P7. He has dropped from P2 all the way to P9. Make that 10 as Daniel Wolf goes up the inside on him there. And he has dropped 8 positions just like that. And Denny K managed to make a move around Zhao in that whole process. So now your top 3 are Polybius, who's 8 seconds now clear of second place, with Denny K following and Zhao closely behind him. As we will now have to see if Penguin can salvage anything in this race and get back up there to the front and get Polaris Motorsports that double podium that we all know they wanted. Yeah, Riley, I'm with you. That was definitely an unsafe rejoin there by Penguin. Surely that's going to be reported. Jens will definitely be reporting that. In fact, I bet if I unmuted myself, he's probably still talking about it in the voice chat. As Penguin and Daniel Wolf are now fighting it out for the position. Penguin close on his bumper. Will he be able to make a move? Looks like he's going to try and send it into turn 2. Getting all the slipstream effect he can to try and get as much speed out of this car as possible. Going on the outside of turn 2. A little bit of contact there, not much to write home about. Who will be the bravest with the brakes coming into the turn 3 braking zone? This is the first heavy braking zone on this track, and they brake about the same time. Penguin bouncing it off the wall into Daniel Wolf. Not much again there to talk about. Beso Freak has managed to put a move onto Miguel Costa, and now he is close on Jens for P6. See if he can make any kind of progress into Jens here. Penguin is still all over Daniel Wolf for P9. Surely he's, with all this pressure, he's going to force Daniel Wolf into some kind of error here, which he'll be able to capitalize on with how close he is. As Jensen and Dacho are fighting that out for P5. Looks like he might have that move complete. Ondacho might be able to come back on him into this braking zone. And he does. Ondacho back through into P5. Getting his elbows out, forcing Jens to stay inside. Looks like Denny K might have had some kind of issue, as Zhao has passed him and put 3 seconds on him rather quickly for that P2 position. Looks like a lot of drivers hitting the wall there in that hairpin. Polybius just now crossing the line, 2:41, a new fastest lap. Good for him. As we check in with the P2 driver, who is just now getting to the line. Polybius almost all the way to turn 2 already. He is rapidly walking away with this race at the front, as we see large gaps open up. Penguin still stuck behind Daniel Wolf. They have moved up a couple positions as Jens has fallen down this grid. Oh, he is in the pit lane. That would be why. Penguin again getting a good run on Daniel Wolf down to turn 2. They will be side by side again through turn 2. Oh, and they touch. They touch. Penguin is around again. Exit of turn 2. Don't really know who's at fault for that one there. You know what? Just saw the delayed replay on the stream myself. I believe that is a little bit of both drivers at fault there. Penguin's coming too far inside. Daniel Wolf was understeering. Nothing there. Nothing on there. I don't think there's much to give a penalty there for, but we'll see on Monday. Beso Freak putting pressure on Ondacho for P5. This is one of the closest battles on track. Mixtrol putting pressure on Jens for P14. That's a really odd spot for Jens. We don't normally see him down this far in the order. Usually expect him to run up at the front. Nothing on there as we go on board with Mixtrol and he runs into all sorts of problems. Beso Freak looking rather quick through Sector 2, and he puts a move on the inside of Ondacho for P5. Completes that overtake nice and clean, and he's going to get a free position off of Jats, who spins on the exit of that corner, putting Beso Freak up to P4. 2 positions in 2 corners. Can't argue with those moves for him there. And Daniel Wolf goes around off the back of Ondacho and loses out 5 positions in the process, including one to Penguin. So it looks like we'll have a revived battle for Penguin as Jats disconnects from the server. Don't know if that's a connection issue. Hopefully we can get him back in this race. As Zhao and Denny K both doing personal bests last time by, 2:44.1 and 2:44.4, but both of them are 3 seconds behind the personal best and the current pace of our race leader, Polybius. Jake top 4. We'll go on board with Jake, and it looks like he is in the pit, so he's taking his mandatory pit stop right now. Check on the order of the people in front of him, see if they have made their pit stops. Unfortunately for Jake, the 5 drivers in front of him, 4 drivers, the next 4 drivers in front of him on the road that would help him get back into the top 10 have all taken their pit stops. So if he wants back into the top 10 of this race, he's gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way on the racetrack. And right now he's got a 7-second gap to Mixtrol and about between a 15 and a 20-second gap to Daniel Wolf for that P10 position. So he's going to have to make that up on the road again. All those drivers have already made their pit stops, so they will not be scheduled to take another one. As we have just 10 minutes left in this race, let's look and see who hasn't done their pit stops as we come into the closing third of this race. all three of our current podium sitters have not taken their pit stops. That's Polybius, Zhao, and Denny K2000. Beso Freak has also not taken his pit stop. Miguel Costa currently leading of the people who have already made their pit stops. So he might be able to pick up some free positions here as this race goes on, as the drivers in front of him have to pit. Undacho, Mario Fonseca, and Pingu Quinn have also not pit, and Nasty Bruises is in probably the worst position to be in, as he is now P10 and still has to make a pit stop, so he is sure to lose some more positions after this is done. Don't know what the pit lane delta is here at Macau. Polybius currently 17 seconds clear of P2 and 22 seconds clear of P3. But most importantly, he's 41 seconds clear of Miguel Costa, who is the only driver in the top 5 to have already taken his pit stop. Surely a 41-second gap does cover him from that he will be able to pit and still be in front of Costa. I'd be surprised if he pitted and fell out of the top 3 with that 30-second gap to Beso Freak, as Daniel Wolf and Pingu Quinn are battling it out on track. And Pingu Quinn finally diving into the pit lane to take his pit stop. And there are no close battles on track. Mario Fonseca about the closest. This is a half-second battle here with Mario Fonseca and Undacho for P6. Jake slowly making inroads into his quest to get back in the top 10. Currently P13. Make that P12 as he makes the move on Pingu Quinn on the exit of the pit lane. And Undacho loses out a position to V-Balls. It looks like Jens Bietzma will be the next one to capitalize on Undacho's errors on the track, as he will try and take that P9 position off of Undacho. Although Undacho putting up a pretty good fight with V-Balls, maybe he wants that P8 position back. Now have a good three-way battle here on track for P8 between V-Balls, Undacho, and Jens. Pingu Quinn making an overtaking move on Jake. Currently sitting P12. Definitely wants to get that Polaris Motorsports car that started on the front row back into the top 10. Sure, he's happy to currently still be in the points, but you know he wants to be back in the top 10. But he's going to have to work just as hard as Jake to do it, because the drivers in front of them have already taken their pit stop. Polybius still out there, still not taking a pit stop yet. We cut away to him. Daniel Wolf currently within a second on Mario Fonseca ahead. Looking to capitalize on some of that slipstream down the long straights of Macau. Six minutes left in this race. There is no +1, so at nearly 3 minutes a lap, we are going to have to see these pit stops coming in soon. So again, in the next 6 minutes, all of our top 4 will have to take their pit stop, plus Mario Fonseca, who is currently just in front of Daniel Wolf, so he will definitely be losing that position in his pit stop. There is nothing he can do about that. And this is still probably the closest battle on track. Fonseca being just 1 second behind Miguel Costa, but again, he is going to have to pit. Genike crashes from P3. That's not going to help his chances of getting a podium in this race at all. He's crashed. He's going to have to pit. Well, luckily, he had a good gap to P5. He is still 20 seconds ahead of P5. But Miguel Costa has pit. Miguel Costa might get a free position here when Genike now has to pit due to that gap dropping from near 20 seconds to just under 10 because of that accident that Genike had on his own. Check in with Polybius here. He's coming down to the last corner. He dives into the pit lane. We'll stay on with Polybius, see what position he's going to come out with. Check in with Zhao, see if he also dives into the pit lane. Covers this move. Surely he will. And he doesn't. Zhao stays on track, so he will pass Polybius for the lead as Polybius is just now getting stopped to do his pit stop. And Zhao is currently in the lead of this race, just barely getting ahead of Polybius there on the pit lane exit. So I guess we have about a 20-second pit lane delta here at Macau as Polybius lost his roughly 17-second gap to P2 and is now about 3 seconds back. But keep in mind, Zhao has to pit, and he has to pit this lap. Zhao has to pit, and Beso Freak has to pit. Mario Fonseca has to pit. Mario Fonseca in the pit lane now, so that's good for him. He's now covered his pit stop. Has nothing to worry about there. Let me check this one more time. So now the only two drivers who have not pit in this race, Zhao and Beso Freak. There is a mandatory pit stop in this league, so they will have to cover those bases this time around, as there will only be one more lap in this race. Polybius 3 seconds behind, knows he's in the net race lead at this point. Or at least assumes he's in the net race lead. Check in with our leader, Zhao. He's at the last turn here before the hairpin. Not much doing. Three-way battle here for P5. We'll check in with Zhao as he approaches that last corner. Make sure he enters the pit lane. Hopefully he has not forgotten that there is a mandatory pit stop. Him and Beso Freak still have to do theirs. That is correct. We did only have one safety car. That was a big surprise in this one after there was a huge crash on lap 1, turn 2. Check in with Zhao as he's coming down for the last turn. This will start the last lap of this race, and he does dive into the pit to take his mandatory pit stop. So Polybius will near instantly regain the lead of this race, and he does. He is now in the lead ahead of Zhao, and Beso Freak covers his pit stop on what will be the last lap of the race. Can Miguel Costa get up here and get around either of these two drivers before they get fully up to speed on the pit lane exit to put him on the podium for plus 5 seconds racing? He's gonna have the run on him, that's for sure. He will have significantly more speed than Beso Freak coming around this corner. And it looks like we're about to see a replay of what Zhao did to Polybius. He does. Beso Freak loses out on P4. He's probably going to lose. He does. He loses out on P4 to Daniel Wolf, loses out on P3 to Miguel Costa. And we're going to have a nice little battle here on the last lap of this race for our final podium position between Miguel Costa, Daniel Wolf, and Base O Freak, all within 2 seconds now. Riley, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but with a 10-second gap to P12, I do not believe Jake is going to make it in the top 10. Check in with Vivels here as he's got within a second of Jens. Doesn't look like much is on here. Come back to our battle for the podium position. And Daniel Wolf taps the wall there on the exit of that corner. Stiff battle here for the podium at Macau. Was never really a battle for the lead. Polybius leading all but one lap in this race, and that was only because of the pit lane. He would have led lights to checkered flag had we not had that mandatory pit stop to cover. As he is making the run to the penultimate corner, one corner left, and Polybius will win AFX round 4 at Macau, doing the weaving on the straight. Probably breaking in that new Thrustmaster wheel. He's sure enjoying that, not playing on a 1997 plastic Microsoft ring anymore. Weaving all over the straights, and he goes sliding across the line, takes the checkered flag, wins the race. Polaris Motorsports wins the race. Zhao will cross the line for P2. This three-way battle for P3 is really heating up. Daniel Wolf on the inside of Beso Freak into the final corner. Oh no! And Daniel Wolf will take the checkered flag for P3 ahead of Miguel Costa in Base O Freak on what had to be the craziest looking crash there at the end of that race. That will 100% get reported and reviewed on Monday during the stewards meeting. Pushing through another driver to get to the checkered flag. Oof. That is hard to watch. It's even harder to watch for a second time there. I honestly have no idea what I just witnessed. Yes, demise. Demise is the word I was looking for. Speechless. Let's do some things here. Yeah, we're gonna use the, you know what? Yeah, no, we're gonna use the AF2 graphics because AF2 is the best league and I don't have an AFX, just grab that. Skirt. Skirt. There we go. Covered that up. And we're good. We're going to do some interviews here. We're going to grab our race winner. That's what we're going to do. First things first. Let's just yeet Polybius up here into the streaming voice chat.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Polybius. Congratulations on your win. AFX round 4 at Macau. Never a doubter there. Almost leading lights to checkered flag. Congratulations on your win.
Strategically, yeah, but goddamn it, I should have pitted just a lap later just to make sure I would have had the lights to flag. But
Yeah.
that's my first full-on victory, I guess.
Shame what happened to your teammate there. Didn't see exactly what happened, but he lost out big there and we were on lap 4.
Apparently Daniel and Draw he had some stuff with, so I heard him shout in the voice chat, so I'm guessing that's what it is.
He did have a battle there with Daniel Wolf for a little bit. Don't know how clean it was. If you didn't see the end of that race, the battle for P3 with Daniel Wolf, Beso Freak, and Denny K2000 there for P3.
Oh, I was looking at Basso Freak and Jens because they were literally less than a tenth apart.
They were only because Denny K, Beso Freak, and Daniel Wolf went 3 wide into the last corner, and Beso Freak went into the left wall. Denny K got spun around, and Daniel Wolf drove straight through the side of Denny K, pushing him out of the way to get to the checkered flag first.
Did you see me on the checkered flag?
I did. We watched you weaving down both straights, and yeah. So that will help Polaris Motorsports stay in the lead of the team's title for AFX, and that will extend your lead in the Drivers' Championship also with your 3rd win in a row. I believe that's your longest win streak in Assetto front.
Not actually, because Rio, I had a penalty, so actually Draw got the win.
Well, then the results for that have not been updated.
Yeah, it's provisional still.
Okay, so it's not your 3rd win in a row, but this will definitely extend your lead in the championships. Any thoughts going forward on the next race?
Yeah, Shibuya I quite like. It is not the easiest circuit. It's quite a bit shorter than what we've had so far because, we went to Rio and Macau, quite long circuits. So with Shibuya being shorter, we'll see, hopefully we'll see a bit more racing.
All right. Do you think I should be brave enough to grab all 3 of those drivers who crashed at the last corner and ask them?
Hell yeah. Also, my steering wheel was coming off by the end, so that's cool.
Good evening, Beso Freak, Denny K, and Wolf Team Racing. What happened there at the end in the last corner? Pure demise on the stream.
Oh, hello. I have no idea. I just came there and saw a car spun on the map, but I also went into the wall and was quite far behind, so couldn't see anything.
I was sideways with, or side to side with Costa, and I'm not sure. I have to look at the replay. I'm not sure if it was my fault or if it's just racing.
Just racing. That's one way to put it. Daniel Wolf, any thoughts? I don't think your mic is working, sir. I have no sound from you.
Can you
hear
me?
Yep, hear you now.
Okay, so me and Miguel Costa and Ping were going side by side into turn 3, and Miguel was and Ping were like slightly ahead of me because I braked early, and they both made contact, and I think Ping spun off to the outside, and then Miguel Costa got in a slide and he tried to correct it, but there was no room for me to try to avoid him, and I ended up making contact with him, and then I bumped him a few times. I tried to rotate him so he would be facing the finish line, but yeah, it was pretty bad.
Was certainly fun to watch all of that on stream. Thank you all for the great race tonight. Any final thoughts before we close this stream out? Looking forward to Shibuya next week, drivers.
Not enough chaos.
Sorry, not next week. 2 weeks from now.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks. We have some time.
That is correct because we have AF2 next week.
Yes, we do.
All right, stream. And on that note, good night, everybody out there. And thank you for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow night, 5 p.m. UTC for AF1 Buenos Aires. Polaris Motorsports will be going for their 3rd front row lockout of the weekend. And
Diego hasn't had practice, and I'm not that fast.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Good night, everybody.
Good night.